Recently, the Chinese Communist Party CCP launched a new campaign, pouring large sums of money into sponsoring American influencers, each with at least 300,000 followers, for a 10-day, all expenses paid tour across 5 major Chinese cities. The influencers were paired with Chinese content creators to produce co-branded material, which would then be promoted by Chinese state media, including CGTN and People's Daily. According to the Liberty Times, this initiative, dubbed the China Global Youth Leaders Exchange Program, aims to shape a positive image of China among young Americans by inviting them to experience what Beijing calls the real China. The itinerary from July 14 to 23 includes visits to cities like Suzhou, Shanghai, Shenzhen, Handan, and Beijing, locations handpicked to showcase China's booming e-commerce, advanced AI sectors, and tech giants like Xiaohongshu ID and Huawei. Carefully curated cultural experiences include Tai Chi classes in scenic parks, calligraphy workshops, and live streams from the Great Wall with scenic drone shots, to flood Western platforms with upbeat portrayals of modern, futuristic, and harmonious China. Chinese social media outlet Overseas Student Daily has called on Chinese students in North America to nominate US-based influencers who love Chinese culture and have no history of misconduct. A vetting process ensures ideological alignment. Qualified applicants receive official invitations and personalized assistance from Chinese embassies in securing expedited visas, transportation, and media support. This influencer offensive is not an isolated effort. A 2023 report by the Australian Strategic Policy Institute, ASPI, highlighted that over 120 foreign influencers across platforms like YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter IX actively promote pro-Beijing narratives in exchange for financial support, professional production crews, and exclusive access to travel opportunities within China. The report details how many of these influencers had stagnant or moderate growth until they were embraced by Chinese government-linked platforms, which helped boost their reach using algorithmic amplification. These moves are part of a broader campaign by Chinese leader Xi Jinping, who pledged in 2023 to invite 50,000 young Americans to China within 5 years. The initiative, presented as an effort to promote people-to-people diplomacy, is in fact a major plank in China's global soft power strategy. Rather than engage with independent journalists or skeptical academics, the CCP has opted to cultivate a new breed of friendly faces. Online young, impressionable influencers eager for clout and free trips. In March, Voice of America reported that students from Duke, Columbia, and the University of Michigan joined a week-long, all-expenses-paid Jiangsu exchange camp organized by the Jiangsu provincial government. Each student also received a 2,000 travel stipend. Unbeknownst to most participants, the trip was part of Xi Jinping's 50 Zeroed in 5 years program. It was only after arrival that the true purpose of the visit began to surface. Kyle Abram, a Duke student, noted, "It became clear this trip was more about propaganda than personal development." He described how each city showcased polished innovation museums, filled with staged exhibits, where the only visitors were the student groups themselves and carefully assigned guides. It felt like walking through a movie set. Nothing was organic. Every interaction was orchestrated. Chinese media outlets followed the groups obsessively, pressuring students for flattering comments about China. They kept asking us to describe how beautiful and advanced China is. Another student, Matthew Rodriguez, recalled, "There was zero interest in hearing about our own thoughts or critical questions. The only spontaneous moment," he said, occurred during a visit to an opera museum in Kunshan, when a classmate asked a guide about Shenyun, the Chinese classical dance troupe band in China, for its affiliation with Falun Gong and for reviving pre-communist traditional Chinese culture. The organizers immediately shut the discussion down and ushered us out. It was the only time the room got tense. Wright State University economics professor Evan Osborne condemned the program. "This is a one-party state using foreign students to launder its global image," Osborne told Radio Free Asia. "These trips are not benign cultural exchanges. They are a carefully calculated PR stunt meant to generate authentic endorsements of China while hiding the ugly truth beneath the surface." The campaign also includes celebrity-level US influencers. In April, iShowSpeed, whose content garners tens of millions of views, toured Shanghai, Beijing, Chengdu, Chongqing, Hong Kong, and Shenzhen, live streaming his trip under the enthusiastic eye of Chinese state media. His stops included Huawei and BYD's tech campuses, where he filmed glowing reviews while being subtly shadowed by plainclothes police officers. But savvy Chinese netizens noticed a stark pattern: selective exposure. As one Weibo user wrote, He didn't visit Xinjiang, Tibet, or detention centers. No shelters, no Inner Mongolia, no chained woman in Fengxian, no 7 or 9 lawyers, no ghost cities like Hegang, no bridge underpasses, no 996 office workers, no 997 factory shifts, no second-hand iPhones from Waikiki Bay, no street barbecue stalls, no factory dorms, no chilling silence in Tiananmen Square. Indeed, none of the American influencers or student groups were allowed access to politically sensitive regions like Xinjiang, where over 1 million Uyghurs and other Muslim minorities are reportedly held in so-called re-education camps. These facilities, described by international rights groups as concentration camps, have been documented as sites of mass surveillance, forced confessions, political indoctrination, sexual abuse, and even forced sterilization. In 2022, the United Nations Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights issued a report concluding that China's actions in Xinjiang may constitute crimes against humanity. Human Rights Watch and Amnesty International have compiled extensive dossiers of evidence, yet such information is entirely scrubbed from the content pushed by Beijing's influencer campaigns. On the surface, the tours present a glittering, hyper-modern version of China, filled with luxury hotels, fast trains, 5G showrooms, and AI demonstrations. But behind the curtain is a different reality, a society heavily censored, digitally surveilled, and ruled with an iron fist. The CCP's bet is that TikTok clips and Instagram posts from Western influencers will drown out criticism with glossy portrayals of Chinese modernity. But critics warn the strategy could backfire. The more curated and polished these trips become, the more inauthentic they feel, said one anonymous professor at an Ivy League university. Young people aren't stupid, they can tell when something's fake. Aspai concludes that these campaigns are not simply cultural diplomacy. They are deliberate psychological operations aimed at neutralizing criticism and shaping global opinion. The real China, they argue, cannot be seen through a selfie stick and a government-approved itinerary.